I hope I haven't bitten off more than I can chew this time. Biting off more than you can chew in this environment can be the last thing you'll ever do. Do you remember the old Mary Poppins song, A Spoonful of Sugar?
You see,
All jokes and mocking aside, if you can find an element of fun in your job, it's no longer work. If I'm working a day's travel away from home, I always factor in a tourist day. This means I rarely return home on the last day of testing. I stay the extra night. It's just common sense. If you're flying or driving home that afternoon, by about 2 o'clock, you're watching the time and not concentrating on the task at hand. The cost of the extra night's accommodation is far less than not completing the job, or in some cases not even starting it. Like the time I was waiting for a Christchurch tech to meet me in Oamaru, and he completely forgot, resulting in a 2.5-hour coffee break. Or the tech that came down with COVID, told his boss, who didn't know he was testing with me in a couple of days, or he forgot the keys, or he got the wrong keys, or no access. You get the idea. I suggest this is just called experience. Anyways, getting back to my story. In May 2022, works orders came through to sign off 3 UFB 2 sites in the South Island: Warrington, Waikouaiti just north of Dunedin, and Tekapo near Mount Cook. Long story short, the build partner took some time to organise a contractor to meet me on site, which pushed the testing out to mid-July. Ordinarily this would not be a problem, and I really enjoy exploring these little towns. But in July 2022, both Waikouaiti and Tekapo were closed off due to severe weather conditions, with Tekapo going from this to this. Time to pack the thermal undies, I suspect. It was a busy week ahead. Monday I did a quick trip to the Southern Hawke Bay to check the coverage of a new cell site at Omakari. I flew out of Auckland to Dunedin and picked up a car and some lunch in Mosgiel and headed north to Waikouaiti to have a look over the street installation to save us some time tomorrow. I could then come back to Dunedin via Warrington and check that site as well. The weather was pretty bad with heavy rain all the way north. Passing through Evansdale I noticed a line of trucks parked up on both sides of the road. It wasn't long before I discovered why. The Waikouaiti River had burst its banks, shutting State Highway 1 down until the tide dropped later that night. I did a U-turn and headed back over the hill to check Warrington. At Warrington I changed into my wet weather gear and took a look around the build area. Warrington looked like it would be quite a nice spot when it wasn't raining. It's times like this that you notice the difference working below latitude 45 south. It wasn't yet 4 PM and it was already getting quite dark. By 5 PM I had finished driving around Warrington and headed north along the coast road to Karatani, which is on the southern side of the Waikouaiti River, to the settlement of Waikouaiti. This looks like a yeah-nah situation. Rental cars are really good off-road, but not sure how well they float. Time to look for a meal and a beer, I think, and hope the tide recedes by tomorrow morning, or it could be cashing in my tourist day earlier than expected, as tomorrow night I need to be in Tekapo. The tech I was meeting in Warrington was coming from Cromwell, which is about a 2.5-hour drive, and he confirmed the start time of 11 AM in Warrington. Okay, so again, to save us some time, I hit the road early to check the fibre sites in Waikouaiti. As I was driving down Beach Street, I noticed I'd been followed by a massive four-wheel drive tractor towing an equally large trailer. Turns out he's on his way down to the beach to pick up the remains of his winter feed that had washed out to sea in the previous day's floods. Just after 9 AM the phone goes. My technician companion had arrived at Warrington earlier than expected, so I shot back there to start work. On the side of State Highway 1 in Waikouaiti is a stunning Anzac memorial. I make a point to stop at these memorials scattered all over the country, and I was shocked at the number of soldiers that had lost their lives from this district. Small town New Zealand paid a heavy toll in the support of King and Country. We finished checking all the network nodes by about 4 PM and we parted company, with Warren heading back over to Cromwell while I hit the road north heading to Tekapo. It was after 5 PM by the time I headed west from Oamaru, up State Highway 83, following the true right of the Waitaki River into the interior. Just before Tekapo I hit the first snow on the road, so hoping the road was open. At 7 PM I received a call from the motel checking I was still on my way. Friday broke as a clear but frosty day, which could have used up my tourist day again. The chap that I was working with in Warrington and Waikouaiti lives in Cromwell and has to come over the Lindis Pass to reach Tekapo this morning. Due to freezing conditions in the Lindis Pass, it was closed overnight. If he had to go around the long way via the pig route, it could have been a long day, and I would still have to make my way back to Dunedin to fly out, but the gods were on our side and he actually arrived just before me and I was staying across the road. Tekapo is UNESCO Dark Sky Reserve, so all the streetlights are low-level bollards with down-facing reflectors. By about 1:30 we'd signed Tekapo off. It's a solid 4-hour drive back to Dunedin Airport from Tekapo, so lucky I booked the extra night. So what to do? Pub or go for a walk? I've walked the Hooker Valley near Mount Cook 3 times previously, but never in heavy snow, so might as well go for a look, I think. At Whitehorse Camp I set an alarm on my phone for 1 hour. The weather did not look great and was subject to change at any second, so I thought I'd get as far as I can in an hour, then an hour back would take me to about 5:30 PM. With sunset around 6 PM on the western side of the ranges when the temperature would really start to drop on my side, so I wanted to be back in the car and heading home by then. Not sure whose great idea it was to box up the stairs, but the boxing kept the snow in place, which was crushed by people walking over it, only to freeze solid and turn to a clear ice mound on every step, so turning a good set of steps into an ice slide. Back in the car by 5:30 in time to thaw out on the drive back to Tekapo. Saturday morning and time to head home. Spied some great looking Land Rovers about town. I guess there's an expedition organised to hit the Godley in the snow. My favourite part of the country is the Maniototo area, so I'm not one to miss the opportunity to take the long way home through central Otago. My planned route is south through the Mackenzie country to Omarama, over the Lindis Pass to Cromwell to grab some lunch, before heading east down Lake Dunstan, then north at Clyde up the Manuhurika to Ophir and over the Raggedy Range, Pulburn, Oturihua, Kyburn, Middlemarch to Outram and to Dunedin Airport on the Taieri Plains. The spot where Hartley and Riley dragged 40 kilos of gold from the Clutha in August 1862 is marked by a memorial plaque that was moved from the original memorial that now lies 40 metres below this point in Lake Dunstan. This one's on my to-do list, is to do the cliffhanger bike track from Bannockburn to Clyde. It looks bloody awesome. I couldn't say how many times I've stopped here for a cuppa and a bite to eat. This is the rest area near the top of the Raggedy Range, above the Maniototo Valley with the Dunstan Range to the west and looking north towards St Bathans and the Hawkton Ranges. I noticed the amount of frost that had formed on road signs, as I understand it caused by freezing fog. Just outside Oturihua, I saw a road sign with a large section just hanging there, but by the time I'd stopped and turned around it had fallen off. And that's my story. 1 week on the road on the New Zealand high-speed broadband project, Auckland, Napier, Dunedin and Tekapo. I hope you enjoyed the journey, and stay tuned for more adventures rolling out broadband to a place near you.